Now, is this conversation about you, financial freedom? Somebody was asking the question before, they was talking about what can help the community, what can help us, and in social things, and people saying we need financial literacy. So we're talking about the show financial literacy, and why would it benefit you? Honestly, this will benefit you from the single fact of this. You need to make sure that you're not working from a position of fear. Do you understand that? When you're working from a position of fear, insecurity,
or any emotion, even excited, being excited.
And also, you got to remember: do you want financial freedom? Financial freedom is basically the ability of not working. Do you want to be able to make money and not work,
or at least take care of what is obligatory upon you to take care of without having to actually physically do labor? Your money is taking care of your obligations.
How many people dread Monday, going back to work? I mean, just be honest. How many people dread it? But they still in the same cycle. They cannot escape that cycle. Why? Because they don't understand how to budget. And most of those people, you look at it, they don't even got a budgeting sheet.
You got to actually go make Juma and things like that because you're enslaved to this
But they don't
job.
even got a budgeting sheet. They don't even got a simple format sheet saying, this is what I make, this is what I get in. Because you can do a budgeting sheet multiple different ways. You can do a weekly budget. You can do a day-by-day budget. You can do a yearly budget, annually, or you can do it in increments. I mean, most corporations, they normally do it increments and stuff like that, as opposed to just doing it weekly and so forth. But if you're in a household setting, you can do it like that. Now you have to weigh against your expenses. So now you really have to be intelligent now, because you might get a $400 check. And one of the biggest things, we're going to talk about this, taxes kills the poor more than anything. Taxes kill the poor, and it kills the actual entrepreneur. The entrepreneur don't understand that either, just as well as the employee doesn't understand it. The employee and the entrepreneur, who is the one who owns his own job, own business, they're both suffering from taxes. Taxes takes away from our money, right? But at the same time, you got to think, all of that money they're taking out of your check, you get the money now. After the government took their taxes and everything taken out, you got your check money now. What are you going to do with it? That's the point. If you ain't freeing this up, you ain't gonna do nothing but the same thing you did before. You're gonna go back to work, and you're gonna be stuck.
You're gonna stimulate the economy.
You're gonna make an emotional purchase, and whenever you make an emotional purchase, it lacks intelligence. The more emotion, the less intelligence.
And they're talking about right now, the average household doesn't even have $5,000 in their name in their bank account.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about 5,000 surplus money, and you probably made 5,000 within 2 or 3 months, even with the job that you have. But you're like, where the money going at?
Right.
Because you're not keeping no account. And trust me, if you start taking that budget and you start seeing where your money was going at the whole time,
you would change decisions.
You would change decisions. You're like, I done ate out 4 times this week, and that was already $100. You went, and then you add it up every week.
You think twice.
You start thinking twice. Like, y'all done spent $350 just on eating. I done spent, almost $100 just on coffee. I just spent such and such.
You keep tapping me every time you mention coffee.
Me?
Yeah, you keep messing with our coffee, man. This guy didn't even look at us, man.
It's like, man,
so
like, you real hard on coffee, shit.
Yeah, don't understand. If you think about it, each time you spend, it costs you. It hurts you. So when it's not about the spending. It's about, we got to realize how to
and let this be an exercise for all of us to implement. Get a small notebook. I carry a pocket book, like a pocket notebook. It's called. Sometimes they make field notes, but they used to put these little notebooks in the back of checkbooks. When we used to be able to walk around with checkbooks, but write down, make columns. Draw a table out that says expenses, that says assets, liabilities, income, and write down everything in your life in each column. And now you write off and you do a checklist and you do a process of elimination. Do I need more of this week? Do I need more of that? And then every week you'll get better. And when you can see it, you can hold yourself to it. Yes, but when it's in your mind, it remains abstract.
Yep.
And all of this is going to remain abstract if we don't take the time to be patient and learn about the stock market, about the housing market, about the antique market, about the clothing market, about the food market. Everything that we're involved in every single day, there's a way for you to be able to create investment off of it, or a way for you to store your money within that, like a bond. Bonds don't move as fast as stocks, but what bonds allow you to do is it gives you a safe place to put your money. And then if that company that you have a bond with goes out of business or sells, you have somewhat of a guarantee of first payout than everyone else.
So you're basically saying you got to basically learn how to have good relationships with everything in your life. And that's what we miss out on. I think a lot of times when we hear about edit, we hear about akhlaq, we hear about mannerisms, we kind of focus in on one part of it, but that kind of goes into all of your life. And if you're not mannerable, have manners, or have good relations with everything in your life, then something's going to be off. And having good relations with your finances, managing your life and managing your family, your structure, that's part of having manners. And we don't have good relations with those things. This is why our habits are off.
And that's manhood. Most brothers shy away from this subject. It's a macho thing not to talk about this. And you hear the women budgeting, paying attention to these details, trying to make sure that things are in order, taking a little bit and making sure.
We say we don't have time. We'll say
no, we don't have time, and then we'll go and do suicidal missions. And then make everybody feel guilty for those suicide missions. Like, we have to tighten up. We have to get more responsible.
Well, that's again, that goes back to what we was talking about, Rush, being a Rashid. Mm-hmm. And most people, they talk about, I want to get married, or I got children, I'm a Wali. And being a Wali, you have to have Rush. And one of the things Sheikh Uthaymeen was explaining is that Rush, part of it is husn tasarruf, how to manage. You have to have good managing skills. How can I delegate or be over top of someone and handle their affairs and marrying the sister off to this brother or that brother, and I don't even know how to manage properly my own affairs, or I don't know how to manage this. So you have to have what they call husn tasarruf, basically what you're talking about. So you don't do a suicidal attempt. You understand what I'm saying? So you do take charge and take lead. But again, before we start getting to that, like you was talking about bonds, that was good that you explained a little bit initially how bonds actually work, because you want to know what assets bring money, so you want to study things that are assets, intellectual properties, dividends, all of these different things.
And we keep saying intellectual properties. I mean, a lot of people that are on social media have their own brand, their own clothing line. They're coming up with statements. They think of a word, or think of a statement or a phrase, they would have put it on a shirt. Don't just print it on a shirt. Go get that stuff copywritten and trademarked. Because now, I'm going to tell you a story. There was a friend of mine that not a friend of mine, but somebody that I knew, they trademarked the word lifeguard. And it worked out for them. You can do some research on that. So the point that I'm making is that you can start to create real estate with your ideas, and it could be a book. It can be a name. It can be a concept. It can be a recipe. Mom's pie, dad's barbecue.
That's the real currency.
These are the things that create money. This makes money for you.
Yeah, ideas is the real currency.
That's what Benjamin Franklin said. Benjamin Franklin said the best investment to make is an intellectual investment.
Yeah, that's the real currency. I mean, at the end of the day, and again, as good thing you bringing that up. When you begin to start budgeting, you really want to think about how you feel every Monday you got to go to work. And all of us know it. Just think how you feel when you got to turn in to go to work. Yeah. If that feeling don't motivate you to say, you know what, today I'm going to go out, go get me a little notebook. I'm going to take down, or even if you got a computer, I'm going to open up,
Microsoft Word or whatever,
Microsoft Outlook or anything like that. You can use one of those, and they will help you out with creating a budget sheet or anything like that, and start taking account of where your money is going at. You understand that? Start taking account of that and start cutting back a little bit, and don't get caught up in all in the hype.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't get caught up in the hype.
Once you train yourself,
we have to reestablish the status symbol. We have to change the status quo, especially in our immediate community.
And we got to get away from the concept of believing that we don't have because we don't have finance. Yeah. I really have to mention that's one thing. The benefits of having a Muslim host is that we can bring out some of these points here too, because sometimes people get depressed when their financial is real low, and you shouldn't be like that, because the Creator also demands from us shukr, to be grateful and thankful for what we have. And this is why Allah makes over and over in the Quran, Surah An'am, Surah Isra. If you look at those verses, what do we say? وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خَشْيَةً مِّنْ what? Imlaq. Do not kill your children. Do not kill your children for fear of what? Poverty. Why? Because it's not upon you anyway to provide for them. نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. Allah said we provide for you and for them. نَرْزُقُهُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. We provide for you and for them.